The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerdom news and commentary. I am your superior webhead master, Jared Bachman-Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is your resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman.
I haven't left my house in 5 days. I do not know when, where, or why I am anymore.
Which is a great time to talk about nerd news and shit of the like. There's a story in here I'm very excited to talk about. It's none of what one would probably think it is. It's not even the leak about a movie I'm excited to talk about. It's going to be a fun show. But before we start talking news, before we start talking about all of that fun stuff, I first got to give you guys a word from our lovely sponsors at sundaysbloodymary.com. You guys know the drill by now. sundaysbloodymary.com has some of, if not the best, Bloody Mary accoutrement I have ever had. The Spicy Caesar mix is my favorite Bloody Mary mix I've ever had. I don't usually use mixes until I started using the Sundays mix. I don't make them from scratch when I'm at home anymore. They're absolutely delicious. I've been working on my jar that I have. Most recent episode, Knights of Nerd Republic, did the same thing I do every time I have a Bloody Mary on air. I barely that some bitch barely makes it past the intro of the show. All of the membership slots are filled now. So hopefully next year, if you're considering that, you can hop in on that next year. I got the monthly subscription box where they will send you 2 jars every month, which is really convenient if you're burning through it. They got rim salt. They have a vegan mix and a mild mix as well if the Spicy Caesar doesn't do it for you. Different pickle garnishes, okra, dilly beans, and asparagus, gift cards, and some merch if you're into that and you like the brand, and shot glasses and stuff like that. So for all of the badass Bloody Mary accoutrement you could ever need, go to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop. Use code TNAP at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order, and you'll help out your favorite nerds while doing so. I love being a Bloody Mary monger.
I'm sick of being called a grifter.
I just needed to play that clip because I'm so happy we have it. I laughed very hard when I heard that on Knowledge Fight. So, all that said, Travis, how you doing, buddy? Aside from the delirium that you've said is setting in.
I'm okay.
That's
There's a
good.
new Pokemon game out. I've been quite
Yeah.
enjoying it. I've already completed the main story and I think the post game in its almost entirety.
Holy Christ.
I have one post game mission left, which requires you to actually fill your Pokedex, like complete it to do it. So, gotta work on that now.
All right. Well, hey, you have time, so you've had the time to be the very best, the best there ever was. I've been slowly making my way through Spider-Man. I'm nearing the end of the game. My strategy has paid off. I have reached the top. I've finished leveling up. Because I have basically stopped to do every single side mission between actual missions. As I wanted to see how souped up I could be going in to fight Doc Ock.
That's how I usually play Arkham Knight now. When I do runs of Arkham Knight, is I finish everything before basically so that when you end the game, the main story, you can go straight into the ending. But the full ending, because I refuse to do anything less than the 100% ending now for Arkham Knight. So
I've never I don't know. Maybe that like I'm an actual adult now and like have the brain processing power to do shit. I'll go back and try it one of these days. I've just never been able to like truly sit down and like do the whole Arkham Knight ending. Like
the only bad part
it's
about it is the Riddler trophies. And as long as you have YouTube available, it's not that bad. The issue I usually end up having is I forget which ones I've gotten. So then I end up having to look for all of them anyway at the end of the game. Does that make sense?
yeah. I have a problem. Okay, how do I put this? I don't like a game not letting you watch its ending pending you finishing the most asinine of side quests. Like if now if it were a game with multiple endings, that like there's a good ending, a bad ending, a worst ending, and the best ending type thing, I wouldn't be offended by the idea of like the best ending being like walled off from me, barring full completion of the game. However, I really disdain just I just think it's kind of insulting. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that decision creatively, and I don't think I don't think what you get from the ending is satisfying enough to warrant like 18 hours of fucking Riddler trophies, in my opinion. I love Arkham Knight. I love how it ends.
I beg to differ. Because the thing you get that's satisfying to make up for it is you get to finally punch Riddler in the face after 4 games
Oh.
of torture.
Well,
That's
I mean,
why I
hitting
did it.
Riddler is a plus. That is true.
I didn't even want the ending. I wanted to hit Riddler, and I already had everything else done. So it just worked out.
This bitch coming in after getting all the Riddler trophies. So we got some news. We got some fun news. First of all, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey Maguire sat down for an interview. Now that the cat is finally out of the bag and we're done pretending that Spider-Man No Way Home didn't have 3 different Spider-Men in it, they're finally talking about it. And I watched the interview. It was really cute. It was fun. Most of it is the usual kind of fare you see from these types of interviews where like I don't want to say it's like deliberately vague speech because it's not. A lot of the time these kinds of interviews feel a little canned, and part of it's just like the Zoom element. uh all of them have inexplicably worse sound quality than us. I'm not knocking on them, obviously. It's surprising where it's like, oh yeah, like these guys are drowning in money, and nobody involved with any of the press tour was like, hey, let's give them a blue Yeti. Blows my mind. But
Earbud microphones are nothing. You hear me?
But it was cute. They do legitimately seem passionate. It was really funny seeing. I don't think Andrew Garfield is aware of just how much of a meme the whole "I'm not the werewolf" thing was, because he references it directly in the interview, which I thought was really funny. And they were making fun of how he's basically had to make his entire Tick Tick Boom press tour about him lying about Spider-Man, which was fun. You got to see Tom kind of talk about the behind the scenes process of bringing them in. Apparently, a lot of the stuff involving the 3 Peters happened very late into production, which we kind of speculated. They were talking about how Zendaya and Jacob were like by Tom's side because he was like legitimately nervous going into meeting Andrew and Tobey. Which again it's the usual Tom Holland wholesomeness that we've all come to love. I highly recommend watching the interview. The guy conducting the interview did not seem super into it, and I do think they could have maybe found somebody who did a little bit more ear to the ground reporting in like the nerd and fandom space. I will always advocate for people who operate in that sphere doing press for stuff like this. Because I as fun and cute as the interview was, I do think they kind of just barely scratched the surface. And I think if, for example, someone who's been on this show before, Rachel Leishman from Mary Sue, like I think she would have conducted a kick-ass interview with these guys. And I think that some of the bigger trades need to do a better job at having people who are more familiar with this stuff beyond just box office and people like those superhero flicks. So yeah, go check that out. It's on the Spider-Man YouTube channel, like the official Spider-Man YouTube channel. It was really interesting. Tobey got to talk about how, because Kevin Feige was a part of the Raimi movies. That was like where he, like the X-Men movies and the Raimi movies where he started producing. And he was talking about, like, he's like, Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige had been here from day one. Like for him, from his perspective. So he was like, he's like, we really all collectively in a very beautiful way got to put a bow on all of our stories. So I highly recommend the interview. It's a lot of fun. Now moving on to the story I'm most excited to talk about. Because I think this shit is so funny. I'm actually... Travis Vamp, I'm pulling up a different version of this article. I want the because I read the Collider version, and the Collider one's funnier.
I have not watched the Spiderman interview. I meant to last night and never got around to it, and then realized I hadn't watched it when we got on the call to this morning or this evening, whenever this is. And you were like, it's half an hour long, and I went, of course it is.
All right. Oh man, I'm getting a Little Caesars ad while I pull it up. Okay. I'm just reading directly from the Collider article because I almost pissed my pants when I did this before. All right. This is Shane Romanchik of Collider. The Batman brings vengeance to Little Caesars with Bat Pizza. There have been a lot of weird and unique products that have marketed the biggest blockbusters over the year, with the highly anticipated The Batman a little over a month away. The next big screen adventure for the Caped Crusader has entered its final marketing push. So far, we have seen your usual Funko Pops, action figures, TV ads, and t-shirts, but one of the most delicious ways Warner Brothers is promoting the film is with a new pizza from Little Caesars called the Batman Calzone. The famous pizza joint described their new Bat-tastic item as the Batman, in quotes, the Batman Calzone is created by combining a pizza lover's own dynamic duo, calzone and pizza. This bat-shaped product features a tantalizing flavor profile of buttery tasting calzone crust filled with garlic white sauce, cheese, and Julienne pepperoni, combined with a pepperoni pizza and served with a side of crazy sauce. Trademark. Justin, I apologize. Forget crime fighting with this new cheesy item that combines the wonders of both a calzone and a pizza. You will be serving up justice at your next gathering. And the humorous bat shape is sure to have any DC Comics fan foaming at the mouth. The company is also running a contest with this new pizza where you can enter to win a trip to the red carpet premiere of The Batman. Travis, are you ready to see the Batman Calzone?
I don't know what part of this the idea of the calzone, or if it's the fact that the Batman and Warner Brothers thought Little Caesar should represent them in pizza form, is what insults me the most. I can't figure it out. I'm just overall offended.
Hey, Little Caesars isn't that bad. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad.
You've heard the Mark Ellis bit about, if you can call 2 delivery drivers to Pizza Joust and the loser is eternally working for Little Caesars now. There's a reason for that. I've had Little Caesars once.
I know Ellis said that. I disagree with Ellis. I don't think it's that bad. It's a funny goddamn joke. But I can get down
Little
with
Caesars one
Caesars.
time. I've had it one time. The only reason I didn't hate it was because I had just been in the woods for a week and kind of forgot pizza existed. And so we got it, and I was like, okay, well, it's pizza. I haven't had a real bath in a week, so anything's kind of good right now.
Well, I think. Hold on. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay.
It could have been Pizza Hut. They could have gone with Pizza Hut, but no, they had to do me the absolute disgrace.
It's so goddamn funny to me.
Where is even the closest Little Caesars to here?
There's one in Monroeville and there's one in Irwin.
Good. That means I can't trick myself into thinking I need to try this once.
Oh, I'm gonna be doing it at some point this weekend. We'll do a video. We'll do a Little Caesars Bat Pizza review. I was gonna try to be like, "Hey, Little Caesars, sponsor us," but somebody kind of fucking ruined that for us here. I'm kidding.
We don't need their filthy money.
We're
I'll
talking
stick with
about
our
the new...
Bloody Mary money. Thank you.
I agree. I prefer Sundays. When talking about the new heroic pizza, Chief Marketing Officer at Little Caesars, Jeff Klein, said, "Anyone can now bring superhero vibes to pizza night by trying the Batman Calzone. It's the most delicious part of our partnership with the upcoming film, The Batman. The edible bat signal is available to order right now, and it will run you $7.99. My favorite part about all of this, is because they titled the movie The Batman. All of the corporate speak to do all of the necessary product placement has been so clunky because you have to limit the number of times you say the word "the" in a sentence. Like here, where you end up with trying the Batman Calzone. You can't just say Batman, you have to say the title of the movie, which is The Batman.
Yeah.
I fucking love this, man. This is why I wanted to do a podcast like this, is so we can cover stories like this. I don't give a damn about movie reviews, TV talk. Fuck that. The Batman, the Calzone. That's all I care about at this point. Oh my God.
Again, if it was Pizza Hut, it'd feel like it was 1997. We're gearing up for Batman. When did Batman and Robin even come out?
97. Oh hell, we have the Pizza Hut box in here whenever they did this the special editions of the original trilogy. I'm using the mouse like you can see it. Yeah, top there. Yeah. we found that when we were making room for the studio in my garage, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And my dad was like, "Yeah, that pizza box is a year older than you." And I was like, "I'm keeping it for the studio. It's mine now." I'm going to Little Caesars to get a box. I'm getting the Batman pizza box.
Did I actually no-scope Batman and Robin coming out in 97?
I think you did. I think you're right.
Batman.
It's either 97 or 99. I just know it wasn't the year.
Oh my god, it's 97. Look at me.
Look at you go!
Inner Geekdom champion.
Geekdom champion.
Man, it's got a 3.8 on IMDb. And a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is a not good movie. Part of me just wants to end the show here. Like I don't want to upload a 20-minute episode, so we do have other things to talk about. PlayStation bought Bungie, and we're gonna spend less time on that than we did on the Batman pizza. We only have 4 stories this week. Oh, the Batman related story.
Oh yeah, we have a runtime.
Yeah, it's almost 3 hours long, which I'm excited for. I like I like those epic length movies.
I do as well. It gives time, it gives time for the characters to breathe and for them to actually tell a story, right?
Yeah.
I think Dark Knight Rises is like 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
That one's
15
almost
minutes.
3 hours as well.
It could use an extra 15 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, I
just
agree. I agree, and I like the Dark Knight Rises.
I do too.
For all its flaws.
It was my favorite of the trilogy for a while.
I go back and forth between that and Batman Begins. You know, it kind of depends on which one I've watched most recently. Spoilers, if we're able to find the time to get Movie Club back up and running, that's actually going to be the March theme for the Batman, as I think we're going to be tackling the Nolan trilogy. So stay tuned for that, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so we're looking at a long Bat movie. We're going to eat some Bat pizza. I can't wait to Bat review this movie. And this is the funniest
tickets in advance
shit.
with the Bat credit card.
Yes, never leave home without it.
On Bat Dango.
Bat Dango. Instead of what's her name? Who's the lady who's at the beginning of all the cringy ass AMC things? Oh my god, I just lost her name. I was just about to say it and I lost it. It's on the tip of my tongue. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't think so.
Like those goofy ass, like before every AMC movie these days. Like when you're at the theater, and it's Nicole Kidman. I think it's Nicole Kidman. Hold on.
I just realized I haven't been to our local AMC in over a year, I think.
Yeah, you have seen a lot more movies up there with Lexi then. Yeah, that would make sense.
State College and Latrobe. Because
I don't love Latrobe. I don't love Latrobe Theater. It's not bad. I like the food a lot. I don't like the desk chairs. It is profoundly uncomfortable for me. I understand why people I understand why people love it. I do. But I can't do it.
I like it because of having the table in front of you, like the
that's very true. Yeah.
You know? I will say the State College Theater. The State College Theater has like the nice reclining seats. The big ass ones, and there's a button, and you can like
like an actual recliner.
It's nice.
I will check that one out.
If you get one of the theaters where the sound mixing is like kind of iffy, you get a massage from the bass because they have the bass cranked way too high.
Go see a Zack Snyder movie in there.
Go see Tenet.
Go see Tenet. Yeah.
Dude, seriously, it felt like I got a massage from watching Tenet in that theater. It was insane.
Yeah. I don't understand a single line of dialogue, but my back feels great. I love Tenet. Fucking love Tenet. Also, I was right. It isn't Nicole Kidman in the stupid AMC ads. So to paint a picture for you, Travis, and I'm not even going to pull it up. I'm just going to describe it to you, and then I'm going to leave the onus for you to look this up on your own. For you, it's Nicole Kidman walking through the rain to go inside of an AMC, and while she is entering the AMC without a mask on, dressed like she's going to the Oscars, goes into the AMC and starts, like the Oscars, waxing poetic about how amazing movies are, and like dramatically walks up the stairs to sit in her seat, and is like gingerly and dramatically eating popcorn, one popped kernel at a time, while like they cut to the screen, and then like it's a clip from Creed, and then it's a clip from Wonder Woman, and then it's a clip from La La Land, and then there's a second version that has the What's Up Danger scene from Spider-Verse. And she's just, it's so fucking funny. There's a meme going around right before No Way Home came out, where somebody like printed out the script and was like, allegedly, it was printed out the script to this goddamn hilarious ad, which I've never understood ads for places that you're already at. Like, you already won me over. I don't like, I'm already here. I've already paid, like, I've already had to put down a mortgage payment for my popcorn and my ticket. That's beside the point. But this person allegedly was like handing out scripts so that when it started, everyone in the auditorium would take my blanket off, because I've had my blankie this whole time. So everyone in the theater could like stand up in unison and like read along with Nicole Kidman. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if the person who was doing it for the bit. Can
we just
legitimately?
Can we start reciting it every AMC, like a Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah, that's what I was like, I will totally do this. Y'all will have to stop me from, oh my God. The onus is now on you to look that up. And I hope that our regulars, I hope that like Nick or Paco or whatever, like start tagging you on it on Twitter, like the moment this episode is out. But yeah. Okay. Sony and Bungie. I'm milking the clock here just a little bit.
No, that's fine. I mean,
like I said, it's a light week. I didn't want to go a second week without doing a show, but there also just hasn't been a lot of news. We haven't had time to like figure out topic episodes. But yeah, we'll do something. I actually have an idea for a topic episode we can talk about after the show. So this is from the PlayStation blog. Legendary developer to join PlayStation as independent multi-platform studio and publisher. This is from Jim Ryan, President and CEO of Sony Interactive. Today, I am happy to announce Bungie will be joining the PlayStation family. First off, I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. As such, we believe it makes sense for it to sit alongside the PlayStation Studios organization, and we are incredibly excited about the opportunities for synergies and collaboration between these two world-class groups. I've spent a lot of time with Peter Parsons, Jason Jones, and the Bungie management team to develop the right relationship where they will be fully backed and supported by Sony Interactive Entertainment, and enabled to do what they do best: build incredible worlds that captivate millions of people. Bungie's world-class expertise in multi-platform development and live game service will help us deliver on our vision of expanding PlayStation to hundreds of millions of gamers. Bungie is a great innovator and has developed incredible proprietary tools that will help PlayStation Studios achieve new heights under Herman Hulst's leadership. Here are a few words from Herman about this exciting acquisition and what it means for gamers. I'm absolutely thrilled to announce a new member will be joining the PlayStation family. I've been a fan of Bungie for many years and have admired and enjoyed the games that they create. Notice how they haven't said the word Halo. Also, there is a Halo trailer out. I'm not that big into Halo. I know we used to have Master Chief over here. That was kind of there as an inside joke, because I'm really fucking bad at Halo. I'm gonna try to understand Halo so we can cover Halo. But there was a Halo trailer. There was also that Lord of the Rings trailer. At some point, Spencer's going to poke his head in the next couple weeks, so Spencer can talk about the Lord of the Rings trailer. Because of time constraints, again, Spencer's only really been able to do stuff on KNR, and especially because of our punishment that we have to carry out for the Bombad cast. Spencer's been has been taking the time to make sure he is on every episode of KNR through January into February. So that's why we really haven't had the time to yank him over here to talk about Lord of the Rings.
Which is fair. When you say Halo trailer, you mean the show that's coming out?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, because Infinity, whatever the Infinite, Halo Infinite's already out. So if they're releasing a trailer for Halo Infinite, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I forgot there was a show coming out.
Yeah, the TV show. I saw its premiere date is March 24th, so day before my birthday, which is how I gauge all things that happen in spring as their proximity to my birthday, because I am a narcissistic little child. Bungie makes games with outstanding technology that are enormously fun to play. They also have unmatched dedication to the communities that play their games. And everyone at PlayStation Studios will be excited about where we can share and learn from them. I've spent a great deal of time with the senior team at Bungie, and it is clear that their experiences are highly complementary to our own. We will be ready to welcome and support Bungie as they continue to grow, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for their incredible team. There's Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios. So, yeah. And then there's stuff from Bungie CEO. So, yeah, another big merger. It kind of feels like a returning of fire from the Activision acquisition, which was hard to say. It took me a second there. The Activision acquisition that happened with Microsoft and Xbox. I tempted fate on that one. So yeah, interesting stuff. It's good to see that the Bungie, Bungie and Activision are still going to be working out of house. But I will not be surprised. I'm trying to get back in the habit of watching the Philip DeFranco show because it's a good news diet. I'm already so brain poisoned by the news. Having somebody whose basic repartee with the news is to just go, "What the fuck is going on?" is is healthy to have, I think. And he kind of said the same thing I was thinking. That over exclusifying. That's a word. The overwhelming exclusivity of platform games is already bad, in my opinion. I think Sony's stranglehold, PlayStation's stranglehold, it's the reason I have a PS5 now. Like I said before, I couldn't miss out on Spider-Man. I can't miss out on Knights of the Old Republic. Not the video game, not the podcast. I couldn't, I was like, fine, you win. I don't play Xbox anymore. I think it's bullshit the amount of games that some of these studios keep so locked down.
But at this point, honestly, we're getting there's less and less of them, or at least less and less good ones. Like now, PlayStation has effectively God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon, and
Uncharted.
Sackboy and Uncharted, but Uncharted's basically finished. They haven't added. They're making money now off of remasters of Uncharted because they know they don't need to make a new one.
Is Resident Evil only PlayStation, or is that both?
No.
Okay.
No, Resident Evil's everything. Most things nowadays.
Most people I see playing Resident Evil are on PlayStation, but I wasn't sure if that was a PlayStation only thing.
Well, and I think that's just the general shift to PlayStation over the last 5 to 7 years, because it used to be the PlayStation 3 was the home media console and the Xbox 360 was the gaming console, and then the generation up, they both kind of switched. From the preview presentations of both the systems, where PS4 is talking about all the new upgrades they had to their online play and all these exclusives coming down the pipeline, and Xbox was like, you can watch cable through your Xbox, and everyone went, Cool. Fast forward now to PS5 and Xbox, still not numerically ordered in any way. Everyone just likes the PS5,
Yeah.
They built up their library for 5 years. It transferred over because now it's backwards compatible. So
Yeah.
And you got Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man. Like I said, y'all got Spider-Man and Star Wars. You win. I don't know.
I don't think they're locked into with Star Wars though.
The KOTOR remake, at the very least, is going to start out as a PlayStation exclusive. I think it will eventually not be, but when it first comes out, it will only be on PlayStation.
Yeah,
which a lot of people are upset with, because originally KOTOR was Xbox and PC only.
Yeah, well, and I mean that's how a lot of exclusives have been. Exclusives in air quotes is they start on one system and then they branch out afterwards.
Yeah,
because I think they understand that how much profit they're losing not having it on at least PC.
Yeah,
which is why I'm not super I'm not worried about this in that regard, and it's too close in proximity to the Activision deal to be like in response to the Activision deal. I feel like, like all the paperwork that had to get filed beforehand before this could go public just makes it too much of a this seems very close, but we've been talking about this for a while. And maybe we finally get some kind of space shooter epic on PlayStation that isn't Halo, or Destiny.
That is true. I saw something come up on my feed real quick, and I was making sure there was a leaked air quotes credits for Multiverse of Madness that some of the clickbaity trades were kind of pushing around, or like at least clickbaity social media pages. I don't know if any of the clickbaity websites were. But there were a bunch of names on there that were like, this isn't happening. Namely, Ben Stiller's character from Night at the Museum was on there, which I thought was very funny. But that one was deliberately fake in the meme because it had shit like Sub-Zero and Dominic Toretto on there. Speaking of Multiverse of Madness, our final story. Spoiler warning, because I think this is legit. And Travis and I have talked about this before. I've been aware that this was brewing for a minute. And leave now or you're spoiled. I would bet. What would I bet? I would bet the studio. That Tom Cruise is playing Iron Man in Multiverse of Madness at this point. So there are a couple of like quote unquote leaked pictures that were floating around. I've seen people claim that they were debunked. I also have heard they're trying to make this happen. Not like like we don't have any inside sources at Marvel. We know people who've talked to people and that kind of thing. So I think it's happening. I'm not sure if these pictures are legit, but I think we're getting Tom Cruise, Tony Stark.
Maybe this is what the reshoots were for.
Allegedly, the reshoots were mostly for cameos. That's what has been reported. Is that a lot of the reshoot? Oh, I just remembered another story we didn't cover yet. Speaking of reshoots, Wakanda Forever has been shut down. Has had its production shut down again. Before we forget to talk about that again. So they stopped because Letitia Wright hurt her leg. I believe it was a leg injury, and she injured her leg. So they took off the end of 2021. They came back, and then there was a COVID outbreak on set. touch on that story briefly before I forget it again. But yeah, a lot of the reshoots from what I have been reading have all revolved around cameos.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Which is it's kind of concerning to me. Like again, I know Spider-Man just pulled it off, and I know people are probably getting tired of me making the memberberry pie joke, but I'm gonna say it again. This multiverse stuff has the potential to just turn into like, hey, 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 and I don't want it to. I really don't want it to. I hope these cameos, at the very least, service the story, and at worst are like junk food in the way of a healthy main course of the movie.
I think that's more likely where we're going. I think that this. I'm sorry. Like watching you do it without hearing it was way funnier.
This room, I just get so congested. I got to invest in some. I don't know if we need a humidifier, a dehumidifier in here. I just can't breathe. Like it'll
the
be
best
out next.
Swiffer money can buy.
I might need it. It's not doesn't get that dusty in here though.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I was on it'll be out this week at some point. I got interviewed on Octo Radio with Alden Diaz, and we were and the first half of the show was I sound like this the entire night because I can't breathe out of my fucking nose, and it was just so uncomfortable, and I hated it because I felt bad because I kept after like muting my mic and just making disgusting noises. And anyway, I interrupted you as you were saying.
No, you're fine. I think unlike because like the Spider-Man pulled it off because all of the cameos, quote unquote, were main movie roles, or at least actual supporting roles, and not just look, it's Tobey Maguire. So it pulls off the fact that it's cashing in the coupon of the audience will go batshit insane over this, while also like making it meaningful. I think Multiverse of Madness is more likely to have just the moments of, hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. But I think it would be relegated to like like either small moments or one big, like he's falling through a portal and we're seeing a bunch of weird shit. And that the movie will be serviceable on its own and won't be trying to like keep you invested with the cameos, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just
like it's the seasoning on the meal, but they're not pretending like it's the whole meal.
Yeah, I hope they aren't. I love Avengers Endgame. I love it unabashedly. It's like it's hanging out with No Way Home as my favorite MCU entry and like superhero movie. Period. Not every movie has to have a portal scene. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like, because like we've had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. None of those have a portal scene. Like they have the like MCU brand of world building in them, but none of them have their like type like portal moment. I just hope they don't. This doesn't become a trend. Because we're now 2 movies in a row where that's the big thing. And that's nothing of the fact that by next month, we'll also have Moon Knight going on. So we're going to have our first MCU show about a like completely new character to us in terms of the MCU. This isn't somebody we've had a movie or a TV show. There has been in movies and shit. So like Moon Knight, cold start. At the same time, we're going to be getting this movie, which is just going to be which has the potential to be non-stop nostalgia bait, and I really hope they stick the landing here. Because Sam Raimi doesn't even sound convinced that they're done shooting. He was interviewed this week and he said, "I think we're done," and it's like, oh.
That tells me there's just going to be like a montage scene of here's a bunch of weird multiverse stuff that like are references to real world, Tom Cruise Iron Man being the big one because that's a famous clickbait article. Not clickbait in that it's not real, but the like people used that to get clicks to their website was Tom Cruise was almost Iron Man, just like Leonardo DiCaprio was almost Spider-Man.
And Anakin Skywalker.
Oh yeah. Have you seen all the memes about him being a huge Star Wars nerd recently?
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite pictures on the entire internet is him at Toys R Us at midnight for the Phantom Menace action figures.
It's like,
It
well,
makes
someone
me so happy.
an ex of his talked about like the worst date of her life was spending an entire day in the theater watching Star Wars with him while he ran around like a 12-year-old.
You know what?
How is that not a fun date? I'm sorry, that you are not a fun person if you did not enjoy it.
I hate to like burst everyone's bubbles. That's fake.
No, it's not. It's real. I say it's real. I like obviously Leonardo DiCaprio didn't rent out a theater for 12 hours for a person who doesn't like Star Wars, but also to me that really happened.
The amount of people who are like who unironically are believing it, where it's like, it's from the Twitter account Le Cinephile, which exists to just make fun of like breaking movie news. Because it was the same week where for Don't Look Up, where this is true, Leonardo DiCaprio like kept making Jonah Hill watch The Mandalorian with him.
Yeah, that because I saw it paired with that, and it was like, what is he doing?
So
like, these are hilarious. I believe the Jonah Hill one.
Yeah, and then Listeноphile like had a very funny escalation of Leonardo DiCaprio's just sprinting around a movie theater with a lightsaber. But either way, it's funny as hell. So yeah, Tom Cruise might be Iron Man in Multiverse of Madness, and keep your eyes out for it. There are pictures floating around out there, but I am slightly afraid of the episode getting zooted if I show them, so I'm not going to. Again, also, I don't know if the pictures are legit, but I do think it's happening. Like, I think these are one of those situations where, like, you can have bullshit clickbait that isn't entirely accurate, but also stuff that is legit. Again, there were a good bit of like fake leaks about No Way Home that still had the correct element of the 3 Spider-Men, so stuff like that. I think that's all we got for you guys this week. Travis, where do lovely people find you, buddy?
They can find me being locked in my house for at least one more day. Maybe more. It depends on how tomorrow morning goes. At Travis Political.
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Where?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. Go check out, I don't know when it'll be out. It'll be out sometime this week. Octo Radio, next episode of the interview series I'm on. It was a lot of fun. Alden was on, not the most recent KNR, but the one before that. And I had a great time talking to him. We had a really fun conversation about, our Star Wars fandom. It was a wonderful time. Also, doing housekeeping, and I brought up Bombadcast earlier. Not this week, but next week for the season finale of the Book of Boba Fett, I'm going to be on the Bombadcast to talk about the final chapter of season 1 of Book of Boba Fett. So stay tuned for that as well. Go check that out when it's time. Yeah,
we don't have a new Star Wars project coming up for them to foreshadow anything in the show, right?
Other than Mando season 3.
When does that start?
It's probably coming out into the year.
Okay, it doesn't count. Because I realized when we were talking about, I'm vamping to give us a little more time, by the way. I realized as we talked about it, it's perfectly lined up again. Moon Knight will be ending right as Doctor Strange comes out. which makes me think there's going to be something at the end of Moon Knight that ties into Doctor Strange in some capacity, because they really like to do that.
They do like to do that. There is also the fact that Moon Knight could feasibly also come to involve the Eternals. What I really like with this, and I think we talked about it with the Moon Knight trailer, is that your Midnight Suns are all kind of like a huge
Gathered
chunk
in
of them
London.
are already in very close proximity to each other. With Dane and Blade like meeting at the end of Eternals, and Mark already being nearby, like geographically is in the same city. So that could very easily be your big connective tissue, is like our first look at Blade. Maybe not Dane Whitman in the whole Black Knight get up, but Blade. But yeah, no, I think in terms of like teasing another thing, I think all we're gonna get from Book of Boba Fett is either gonna be like, I mean more than what we've already gotten for Mando season 3, and then potentially confirmation of season 2 for Book of Boba Fett. So, which seems written in the stars from what I remember. Whenever we I think Ming-Na Wen posted their like rap gift for rapping on the show, and it said like Book of Boba Fett season 1. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nor would I. You guys find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Nick Johnson. Your friendly neighborhood orthorhinogalacalongalista. I'm at this point, I'm just trying to butcher it. I really want to hit that giant galagala just as hard as I can. The Delta 9 and the Waffle Wizard.
That should be the last time you have to read that one, though.
I'm hoping he changes it soon, Paco.
Well, it's February now, so
yeah,
February,
I'm hoping.
Everyone.
Happy February. Also, versus series tournament. We're not gonna. We're after Book of Boba Fett, is basically what Spencer and I have agreed on. We're gonna do it after Book of Boba Fett, because I think us trying to find a way to do it during Book of Boba Fett was part 1 of our failed strategy to do it. We're learning. What else was I going to say? I don't think I have anything else to say. Be sure to click on the student store link on our website. Go check out our student store on TeePublic.
Sure, tpublic.com.
Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. SundaysBloodyMary.com/shop. Code TNAP at checkout. Get 10% off your order. Thank you all so very much for watching or listening. Be sure to share the episode, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. And class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie.